And we're on.
We are on.
Wow. Hey, everyone. I'm Liam, the daughter.
Hey, I'm Lori, and I'm still the mom.
Oh, okay. You sounded unsure there for a second.
Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes it's like you're the mom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You're like, hey, Lori.
Snap out of it.
Get to it. No.
No. You've had a long week, huh?
I have had a long week, yes.
Yeah.
Very busy.
I know. We've both been really busy.
Yes.
Fact check Jake, too. We're all busy.
Yeah, we're all super busy. It's crazy. I don't know if I'm coming or going. I don't know what day it is. What time is it?
What's
Where
2
am I
plus
at?
2?
What's 2 plus 2? What you been curling lately besides your hair? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I know. Every time we sit down to like talk and we're like, okay, what happened this week? Like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, nothing has happened. We've just been busy.
Yeah.
And we're like still on lockdown and whatever. And it's just like nothing happens.
Yeah, right.
I wonder, I'm sure everyone else feels like that. It just kind of feels like Groundhog Day. Like we're just going through the motions, man.
I know, but it's getting sunnier here, and
It is.
spring
It's
is
beautiful.
soon to come, and I'm excited for the plants to start growing and to be able to get out
I
into
know.
Seattle and see what's growing.
It's
so
beautiful.
excited.
The weather. Oh, it's like a
yeah.
nice crisp 50 to 60. And oh, I love it.
Dude, those mountains were looking gorgeous today.
Oh, they're always looking gorgeous.
Yeah.
I know I had the window open today. I was letting that fresh air in.
The frogs were.
Oh, I love hearing those
Yeah,
frogs.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got to look at the positive
They're
stuff.
in unison.
They are. They sing. They sing a little song. I'm going to join them. Do you guys know Party All the Time by Eddie Murphy?
Putting in a west.
Speaking of music, because we were talking about, like, you know, still the world kind
That's
of
what
still.
I'm missing. We were talking
That's what
about.
That's what
I'm
we're
really
missing.
missing live
is
music.
live music.
Yes.
The last live concert you saw?
Oh, for the love of Pete.
I know. I don't even know. I have to think. I think me and Jake, right after we got married, so it was in 2018, we went to see the Menzingers. And I think that was the last show we saw. It was at Mr. Small's. It was a small theater. If you've never been to Mr. Small's in Pittsburgh, I would highly recommend. It's a nice, like, quaint venue. And they were amazing.
Yeah.
That was Sunday, November 18th of 2018.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think that was the last concert we went to.
I think, I don't know where I am right now, but I'm thinking, was my last show Naco and Medicine for the People? Also at Mr. Small's.
Oh, wow, that was a long time
That
ago,
was
Laura.
a while.
Yeah,
a
that
while
was in
ago.
like 2016.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That can't be my last show then.
No, yours was Jimmy Eat World.
Oh, yeah,
and
Jimmy World
Incubus.
and Incubus.
We went with our friends.
Yeah, to Star Lake. I still call it that. But
Right.
Post-Gazette Pavilion or, I don't know, Key Bank Pavilion. I
No
don't know.
one that listens to us is from Pittsburgh, so no one's going to know what
no
you're
one
talking
knows
about.
what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That was a good show.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
I love Jimmy Eat World.
I know, and I love them too, and I love Incubus, and gosh, they were so fucking good. I know, I'm missing like
I'm
just
really missing
being
live music.
That's like the one crowd that I can stand to be in is at a concert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Absolutely.
People
because,
still annoy me, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to be
yeah,
there.
because you're listening to music.
Right.
Right. Best concert you've ever seen.
Best concert I've ever seen, probably the Menzingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were excellent. I'd see them again tomorrow if they came our way, honestly.
Yeah. Definitely unexpectedly, because obviously we worked at a concert venue, so we were around music a lot. So, you know, it wasn't like, so we were, you know, surrounded by a lot of shows that maybe we wouldn't have seen on
Right.
our own. So Coldplay
Coldplay was
and
good.
for me, Green Day, man. Woo.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss them, and that makes me sad because I would have loved to see Green Day.
So as soon as things get back to, you know, some sort of semblance of normalcy, what's like, what do you want to see? Who's on the list?
Well, honestly, number one, okay, so,
We're in Seattle.
well,
I got to go Dave Grohl.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be nice. He's definitely on my list, but mine, so there's a band called Red City Radio. That me and Jake love. And actually, I didn't know them. I didn't know their music, but another band we love, the Flatliners. Oh, I'm obsessed
Love
with the
them.
Flatliners.
Yeah.
We went to see them also at Mr. Small's. Not sponsored by Mr. Small's.
Right.
We went to see the Flatliners, and there were like 30 people in the crowd. I mean, it was really small.
Oh my gosh.
And Garrett Dale, the lead singer of Red City Radio, was traveling with them, and he opened for them just on his own.
Wow.
Like, not with his band, Red City Radio, just him. And he did a little acoustic set.
It was awesome.
And oh my gosh, his voice, so incredible. And he was so good, and he was funny. And he did a cover of Bruce Springsteen's I'm on Fire.
Yeah, it was good.
And it was the best cover I've ever heard. And I can't find, like, he must not have recorded it ever. Or he
Right.
just decided, he was like, F it, I'm going to sing some Bruce Springsteen. Oh my God, I think about it all the time.
Oh my gosh.
So I would love to see him and his band and, like, see, like, if that was just a little show he put on, I would
Yeah.
love to see what he did with, like, you know, the whole shebang.
Awesome. I loved the several times that we have seen Mark Broussard. He was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if he came around here, I would totally go see him
Love
again.
Mark Broussard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all know that I love Sean Mullins. So
Okay. Yeah. Sean Mullins, you've got a number one fan here.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, we'd love to know what you guys think.
absolutely.
And guess what?
What?
We have to thank some new patrons.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
I know our patron family's
love it.
growing, and I love it so
love
much.
that.
Okay, so we have Kristen,
Yes.
who is an old hag.
Nice.
Welcome to the family. We have Amber,
Yes.
who we know and love.
know and love.
She signed up as a baby witch.
Oh, that's so cool.
I
Thanks,
know.
Amber.
And we have Joseph, who signed up as an old hag. This is
Nice.
fun. Welcome to the party, guys.
Yes. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it so
we
much.
do. You're making dreams come true
You
over
are?
here.
Yeah.
If you want to join the Patreon family, we highly suggest it. The link is in our show notes, and there's a lot of stuff coming that you're not going to want to miss that's only going to be on Patreon. So make sure to check it out.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, that's my spiel. I'm going to
Okay.
move on now.
Get going.
Okay, do you know what I'm talking about today?
I don't think I do. I don't even know what I'm talking about today.
I was going to say,
Where am I?
what's your middle name?
What's my first name? I don't know.
Oh, poor Lore. Okay, I am doing Spirited Away.
Ooh, I don't know that one.
Okay, well, it's an animated film, and we
Oh.
all know that that's kind of not your
That's
bag.
not my bag.
I
right.
had never seen it.
Okay.
Jake had seen it multiple times and loved it. Mm-hmm. So finally, I was like, all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm a fan of animated films.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 2001 fantasy adventure Japanese animated film.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, are you
I'm
with me?
ready.
All right, directed by Hayao Miyazaki.
Okay.
And I'm going to say right now, we all know, if you've been listening to us for a while, I can't pronounce names.
Right.
Like,
Right. You can't.
I just can't. So I'm going, I apologize in advance if I mispronounce any names. I promise I'm not being disrespectful. I just don't know how to say words. Okay.
or do math.
Okay, you didn't have to bring that up. Okay, so there are a lot of characters in this movie.
Okay.
So I did not write down every voice because we would be here until next week.
Like when Laura's up to bat.
Yeah, I don't do what you do. I wrote down the two main characters.
Yeah. I feel bad if I leave anybody out.
I know. Okay, I don't know. I'm like, I'm a bitch. I don't. Okay, so we have Rumi Hiraji as the voice of Chihiro.
Okay.
And we have Miyu Irino as the voice of Haku.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so here's the rundown.
Give it to me.
This is a long movie.
Yeah.
So just let me know
Yeah.
if you're following me.
All right. I will let you know.
Okay, Chihiro and her parents are moving to a new town, and Chihiro is not happy about it.
Of course.
Okay, they're like driving there, and she's like, F this.
This bullshit.
I'm happy about it. I
Right.
didn't want to leave. And the parents are trying to like,
Yeah.
oh, it'll be fine.
Great. You'll meet new people.
Right.
You won't stick out like a sore thumb.
You'll
and feel
make friends.
awkward.
You'll make friends. That's what you always told me. And here I am. I still don't have any. So on the way up to their new house, Chihiro notices some little stones on the side of the road and asks her mom what they are. And she says that they are shrines because some people believe that little spirits live there.
Oh, cute.
Foreshadowing. Oh, we love to see
There
it.
we go.
Okay, they then stumble upon an old building with a tunnel and decide to go through it to see what's up. They're a little curious.
Yeah, right? I
Right.
love the adventurous spirit.
I'd be like, no thanks.
And I'm out.
I'm going to stay back here, which Chihiro is. She's very like timid and she's like, no, I don't want to go through there. But her parents go and she's like, oh, shit, now I got to go too.
Now I got to do it.
The tunnel ends up spitting them out onto like an old road that leads to an old abandoned theme park.
Ooh,
I'm not sure.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a theme park. That's what they kept saying, but it looked kind of like a string of restaurants, but it was abandoned. Like nothing was running.
Nothing was happening there.
Right. But they find a giant buffet with fresh hot food in the middle of all of these abandoned restaurants.
I'm there.
Right. I know. I'm like, sign me up. Like,
Give me a
it looked
plate.
good. Right. But it seems odd.
Maybe not during the coronavirus.
I was going to say, hey, watch it. COVID safety, okay?
Right.
But it seems odd because it's literally the only thing there. So Chihiro is like, oh, I don't know about this, but the parents like weirdly just begin to
Let's chow.
They chow down. Right? And they're
Going
like ravenous. They're like eating it really fast and you're like, what the heck? So something seems off.
There are games afoot.
There are games afoot. Chihiro, again, she's like, no, I'm not going to eat that. And she begins to wander off and she stumbles upon a working bathhouse. Okay, so again, weird because everything is abandoned and shut down.
Right.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, someone appears and says you shouldn't be here and tells her to leave before it gets dark. He's like, you cannot be here when it gets dark.
And I'd be like, and I'm out.
I know. Are there vampires? Like, what's going on? That would be my first instinct. She runs back to get her parents, but she finds them
Still eating.
but they have turned into pigs
What?
because they're eating like pigs. And so they have
Are
actually
they being
turned.
glutinous?
They're being glutinous. Yes. So we'll get back to this.
All right.
Okay, so as it gets darker, spirits that look kind of like dark shadows start appearing everywhere.
Okay.
And the town starts to kind of like come alive. Like the lights come on and then the buildings start, like the restaurants start operating and there's little spirits walking around everywhere. The boy, who we find out his name is Haku,
Okay.
finds her and tells her that she has to eat food from this world or else she will disappear. And that's when she looks down and realizes that she's see-through.
Ew.
So she's kind of like a spirit herself now.
Right.
The spirits realize that a human is there at some point,
Yes.
which is a no-no.
Right.
That's why he told her, get the out of here before it gets
out.
dark.
Right.
That's a no-no. So Haku gives Chihiro instructions on how to lay low so that she can eventually escape and get her parents back. Okay. Her first step is to find Kamaji in the boiler room and ask for work. Okay. He says, no matter what, you just go to him and you say, can I have a job, please? I need work.
Okay.
And even if he denies you, you have to just keep asking for work. And then eventually you'll be able to stay.
Okay.
If she gets a job, she can stay without the witch who rolls over the bathhouse, Yubaba, that's her name, finding her and turning her into an animal. So she's the one turning people into pigs and stuff.
Okay.
So she ends up finding Kamaji and his helper Lynn, and they tell her she has to make a deal with Yubaba if she wants to get a job. So I thought, like, oh, you're going to escape the witch. And they were like, no. you have
go
to
face to face with that.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So with Lynn's help, she ends up meeting Yubaba, okay, who explains to her that the bathhouse is a place for spirits to come and replenish themselves and that it is no place for humans. It's kind of like a spa for spirits.
Spa for spirits, yeah.
Right. So you see all of these cool looking characters just wandering in and out. One is like a radish. He's a radish spirit. Yeah, he's he looks like a big radish and there's like water spirits. And so it's like all different and they're coming to like get a spa treatment.
Hey,
it's so cute.
I need a spa treatment.
That's what I was like,
I want a spa treatment.
I need one now.
Right now, yeah.
Not when I'm a spirit.
That's right.
Okay, so Chihiro continues to insist on getting a job because that's what Haku told her to do. And finally, Yubaba gives her, she's like, F it, whatever. I guess like she made some kind of pact where like if someone kept begging her
You
for a
have
job,
to-
she has to comply and give them a contract. But she tells Chihiro to sign her name away in exchange for the job.
Sounds like a Faustian deal.
I don't like that.
No.
This is why you never sign your name to anything. You're weird about that.
I'm very weird about that.
Yeah,
I
you-
don't sign my name to shit. Yeah.
Right. So her name now belongs to the witch.
Big mistake.
Big no-no. So she is no longer Chihiro. She is renamed Sen.
Oh,
She gets a new name.
new name.
Right.
New look. New.
Nope.
Nope.
She just looks the same.
Okay.
Just no longer Chihiro. Her name is now Sen.
Okay.
And Chihiro, the name belongs to Yubaba. You following me?
Okay, I got you.
Okay. Haku explains that Yubaba controls her workers by stealing their names. So that's how she kind of like keeps them working and doing what she wants.
The puppet master.
Right. If Chihiro ever forgets her real name, she will never be able to leave and find her way home.
Oh, crap.
So the longer you're there, you start to forget what your actual name is. And you see that with her. She starts to forget that her name is Chihiro.
yeah.
And Haku does not know his real name either. That's what happened to him, and he's stuck there. He can't get home.
Boo.
It's very sad. I know. Halfway through the movie, I looked at Jake and I was like, am I going to fucking cry? Like, what? You got to tell me before you walk me into movies like this.
Right?
Okay, so I'm going to flash forward a lot here because, like I said, it's a long movie and we
Right.
don't have the time.
Yeah.
But I would really, really suggest that you go watch it. It's very magical, especially if you have kids. I think they would love it.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, but we're flashing forward a little bit here. Okay, so Yubaba the witch has a baby.
Oh.
Okay, and she's
Cute.
like very nurturing, even though she's kind of like a mean witch to everyone
Yeah.
else. She's very nurturing to this baby.
Okay.
And the baby goes missing. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Haku agrees to save the baby if Yubaba tears up Chihiro's contract and returns her and her parents back to where they belong.
Oh,
I know.
nice.
Haku's looking out for her. It's very sweet.
Yeah. How selfless.
I know. The witch agrees, but on one condition. Chihiro must pass one final test or she will belong to her forever.
What's
Okay.
the test?
I'll get to that.
Damn.
You're
Making
like,
me wait.
damn it, I want to know.
I'm anxious. I'm on pins and needles.
I know, right? Okay, so on the way back to return the baby, so they,
Yeah.
Chihiro remembers that when she was little, she fell into a river and almost drowned. But the water carried her to shore. And she remembers that the river's name was the Kohaku River. And she said, Haku, that's your real name. And we find out that Haku was a river spirit who saved her.
Oh, no.
I know. See, I'm going to start crying again.
Oh
What's
my
wrong with
gosh.
me? And so then he remembers his real name. And so now he can leave eventually.
Oh, how cute.
Oh my God.
I see tears.
I know, right? Just look away. Look away. Okay, so they return the baby, and Yubaba gives Chihiro her last test to figure out which two pigs in the sea of pigs are her parents.
Oh,
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't think I'd be able. You know what? No. Which one's looking at plants? That's Lore. Nailed it. Got it. We can go now.
Let's go. We're out of here.
Right. She ends up getting the answer right. And her contract is destroyed. And her and Haku part ways, promising to find each other again someday. She finds her parents and they drive off to their new home.
Where's Haku?
He's going to meet up with her again soon. He had some business to take care of.
But we don't see that in the movie?
No, look at her. She's devastated. No. I said they promise they'll find each other again.
It's a fucking 3-hour movie and we don't see Haku? What? They don't. Oh, damn. Is there a sequel?
I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if one comes down. This is a very popular movie. I know. They'll find each other again.
Okay.
That's the point,
All right.
Mom. You're supposed to have trust in the universe.
All
Okay.
right.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about some Japanese folklore here
Okay.
that I found that kind of tied into the movie a little bit. There were so many things I could talk about because, like I said, there were tons of like spirits and water
Yeah.
spirits and stuff. But in my research, I found yokai,
Okay.
And yokai are a type of supernatural monster / spirit in Japanese folklore.
Okay.
So from my understanding, yokai is like an umbrella term
Okay.
for a bunch of different kind of supernatural beings.
Okay.
Okay.
I gotcha.
The
Gotcha.
What was that?
I don't know. You know. I just don't know.
You're literally delirious over there. Hang in there. You're going to be okay. All right. The term yokai is derived from the words meaning bewitching, attractive, calamity, and apparition, mystery, and suspicious. Okay.
Calamity. I love that word.
Right. So we've got some mystery going on. Yokai can be malicious, naughty, delinquent, or can sometimes bring good fortune to those who cross their paths. Right. They are often described as having animal-like features, but often look almost human-like. Okay. There are also examples where they have no recognizable shape whatsoever.
Okay.
So they can appear in many different ways, basically. They often have supernatural powers, one of the most common being the ability to shapeshift.
Ooh.
I know. I think that's
Love
fascinating.
shape-shifting.
Me too. We haven't talked about that a lot, and we need to.
Yeah.
These creatures have been part of Japanese folklore for thousands of years, and as shown in the film, these stories are still being told today.
I love that.
Okay, so then I found a type of yokai.
Okay.
Are you following me?
I sure am.
Okay, called Yama-uba.
Okay.
And this, I thought, kind of tied into the movie a little bit, and I thought that it was similar to Yubaba the Witch.
Okay.
Okay. Yama-uba is a Japanese mountain witch.
Ooh, I love that.
I know. I thought you would.
Yeah.
That's why I was looking for your reaction. I'm like, do you like
love
that?
Yeah.
Okay. They appear as crones with long white hair and tattered clothing, and that's kind of what Yubaba looks like in the movie.
It's me.
I knew you were going to say that. I know you too well. As soon as I saw white hair, I was like, Laura's going to claim this.
And tattered clothes.
Oh, shut up. You look great. We just shop at the Goodwill.
I
It's
know, right?
fine. Okay, they were once human, but were corrupted into being witches.
Corrupted into being witches.
I know.
Really?
Yep.
They didn't go, you know.
I'm sure some
willingly?
Went, I'm sure some went freely. I'd be like, yeah,
Sign me up.
sounds tight. They are known to turn people into animals
Okay.
and eat them. So I thought
Oh.
that, well, right. Well, I'm just going to breeze past that. But Yubaba turns, she turns people into pigs. And
Does she eat them?
I don't think so.
Okay, they don't show that in the movie.
They don't. No.
Okay.
I don't think that she was necessarily supposed to be an exact representation of the
Okay.
mountain witch, but I just saw similarities that I thought were interesting.
Okay.
Okay. However, they are not always bad. That was an important distinction I kept coming across.
Okay.
They are also known to be very nurturing,
Lovely.
which, like I
She
said,
was,
right,
yeah.
Yubaba had the baby, and she was mean kind of to everyone else, but then she was very, very nurturing to this baby.
Okay.
So I thought that was kind of neat, and I wanted to share.
I love that.
Okay, so that's my lesson.
I love it.
I love it too. I
That's
learned
very
something
interesting.
new.
Yeah.
I do have some fun facts.
Ooh, I love fun facts.
I love a fun fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a term, kami kakushi, and it means spirited away, which is the name of the movie.
I love that.
And it refers to a mysterious disappearance of someone when a god takes them away.
Oh my, I love that.
So the whole thing is
Yeah.
Chihiro was spirited away
Yeah.
to the land of the spirits. Oh, so cute.
Cute.
The score I had to write down is stunning.
Is it?
Oh my gosh, so pretty. The music was so beautiful. From Jake, you might want to fact check me, but I found that it was done by the New Japan Philharmonic.
Oh, okay.
I know. Oh my gosh, it was so pretty. I wonder if it's on Spotify because it was just very calming and just beautiful.
Yeah, it was performed by the New Japan Philharmonic.
Nailed it. You didn't even need to fact check me. Damn right. Okay.
Nice.
The visuals, like I said, are really beautiful. There are tons of cool creatures walking around like in the spa, in the bathhouse, and like I could imagine if I was a kid I would just be like enamored because there were so many cool things to look at. So I would definitely recommend. It's very magical. I just touched on like a little piece. I think I left out like an hour worth of the movie where a ton of cool stuff happens, and I left out a lot of cool characters. So please go check it out. And I really liked the character progression of Chihiro. I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, because she goes, like I said, from being like she didn't want to go in the tunnel, and she's very like scared, and she's upset because they're moving, and then you see her kind of like gain confidence and find her place a little bit, and that's always good.
Be a fighter.
Right. Yeah, she was totally kicking ass.
Yeah, right. I love
Okay,
that.
so that is Spirited Away.
That's so cool.
I know, I loved it.
That's cool.
I love that Uncle Bob's like makes us watch new movies. Like I've watched a ton of movies that I have never seen before because of the show, and I really, really liked it.
I love that. I'm going to have to watch it.
You would love it.
I'm going to put it on my list.
Put it to the mile-long list that we have.
Right. I know. Honest to goodness. Speaking of fact-checking, I have to fact-check myself because last week when we talked about, I think I must have been so excited when we talked about John Cusack liking my Instagram photo that I said that I took the picture at the Orpheum when it was actually the Biograph, and it like totally like, the Virgo in me was like laying awake at night going, oh my God, that was not the Orpheum.
I know, you told me that like 10 times this week.
How could I have said Orpheum? It was the Biograph. What?
People from Chicago are probably like, what the f*** are
what
you talking
the hell?
about?
Who is she? She doesn't know what she's talking about. Was she really in Chicago? I don't know.
We promise she was. She has the pictures of John Cusack superimposed next to her to prove it.
I have the picture of the Chicago-style pizza I had that was absolutely fabulous.
Ooh, it's making me hungry.
Oh, my goodness, right?
All right, girls, your turn. Are you ready?
Am I up?
Yep.
Oh, I love that. Awesome. So I'm talking about a movie today that absolutely, I know sometimes we'll talk about like movies that have changed your life.
Yeah.
And I love this one.
Yeah?
I do. And you're not as connected with this one as I am, but you've watched it for sure. So I am doing today The Mists of Avalon.
Oh.
So I don't know if a lot of people know this movie.
I don't think.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe.
Really?
And we just don't know.
So it's so funny because this is absolutely, I swear guys, this is not planned. 2001.
Are you kidding me?
I'm kidding.
What the f***?
Same as yours.
We do this every time.
Every time. And it is absolutely not planned.
Simpatico.
So this was actually a mini series.
Oh, okay.
So it was on 2 separate nights on television. Mm-hmm. It was up for 22 award nominations.
Whoa.
It had 22 nominations. I love this because from an early age, probably before even I started tapping into like the witchcraft path, I love to study Arthurian legend. I had so many books and I just found it so fascinating. Again, Arthurian legend. So if you're not familiar with King Arthur and his court and the Lady of the Lake and Excalibur, Guinevere, Merlin, Morgan Le Fay, who is always portrayed as like an evil sorceress.
Right.
Yeah. The whole myth, and they're even tied to the quest for the Holy Grail, which will be like something else that we talk about later. Okay. But I've always loved Arthurian legends. So when this book came out and then the mini series called The Mists of Avalon. So it was based on the book by the same name by Marion Zimmer Bradley, which came out in 1983.
Okay.
The book and subsequently the movie was a total game changer on this legend because basically it took a story that was very patriarchal driven, and it came from the point of view of the women behind the story.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely floored.
Oh, hell yeah.
This was awesome. It showed women in powerful roles and, I mean, it was just awesome.
Well, yeah, like you said, she was always painted as a really like bad, evil witch or whatever. And because you're used to getting it from like King Arthur's perspective. So this really did like flip it. And they were like, no, hold up.
I was actually thinking of the movie Merlin.
Oh, I remember that vaguely.
Yeah. And I think, what was the gal that was married to Tim Burton.
Oh, Helena.
Yeah, I think I think it was her.
Yeah.
She was but she played Morgan Le Fay.
Oh, okay.
And she was just like super evil. And
Right.
they always portray her as very evil and conniving.
Okay.
So I absolutely love to see this movie. And I think it was, instead of being more fantasy driven, was actually more in the theme of like the pagan traditions, how people would have dressed at that time, what they would have studied, what they would have been doing, the festivals that they celebrated.
Cool. Right.
You know what I mean? So I absolutely love the cinematography. I love talk about scores with the nice,
So pretty.
beautiful, Irish music and or Gaelic music or whatever you want to call it, Celtic music. Absolutely beautiful. I love this movie.
Yeah,
love
this is
movie.
one you had me watch all the time when I was younger.
I literally revisit this movie so often. So we're gonna get right into it.
Teach me about it.
And what a stellar cast, I have to say.
Oh boy,
So,
here we go.
Angelica Houston
Okay.
plays Vivienne, or better known as Lady of the Lake. Julianne Margulies plays Morgan Le Fay. Joan Allen plays Morgause, I think they call her. Samantha Mathis plays Guinevere. Carolyn Goodall plays Igraine. Edward Atherton plays Arthur. Michael Vartan plays Lancelot.
Okay.
Michael Byrne plays Merlin. And Hans Matheson plays Mordred.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, this is, like I said, a mini series. So over 3 hours long. So
Whoa.
I'm
Get
not
some
gonna,
popcorn.
So it's not going to be the typical lore, where I go into every single detail of the movie. I'm going to leave, I highly suggest you go and watch this movie. It's absolutely awesome.
Right.
So I'm going to give you like the rundown.
Okay.
So the film starts out with Morgane on a boat. And so, again, this is one of those movies that starts at the end and then goes back, right? She's not looking too good. She's a little worse for the wear.
Okay.
And basically what she says, and I'm taking her words because they're so wonderful. It says, "No one knows the real story of King Arthur, and most of what you think you know about Arthur, Lancelot, Guinevere, and Morgan Le Fay are lies. And I should know because I am Morgan Le Fay, priestess of the Owl of Avalon, where the ancient religion of the mother goddess was born." So then we see that she's actually the one narrating the story.
Right.
Right? And so it's all coming from her point of view. So the movie starts where they're constantly being invaded by the Saxons.
Okay.
Okay. And so I actually had to, I know what Saxons are, but it's like, how do you describe that for somebody that doesn't know?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it basically started out as 3 separate groups of Germanic descent: the Angles, the Jutes, and the Saxons. And they start out as pagans.
Okay.
Okay. But then they convert to Christianity, and they're invading what would have been England. It wasn't England at the time, but they're invading that territory to try to take it over.
Gotcha.
So what they do is they drive the Celts out and into the hills of Wales and Cornwall.
Okay.
Okay. And what that does is it creates pockets of Celtic culture and language.
Interesting.
Okay, so they end up taking over and ruling Britain, which is now what is now known as Britain, for 500 years.
Oh, wow.
And they call it Angleland or England.
Oh,
Right.
Light bulb.
Right?
Okay.
And so most of our customs and traditions, even as Americans, stem from the Anglo-Saxons.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So the whole movie is basically premised on them trying to stave off the Saxon invasion.
Okay.
And then so you have that, and then you have these 2 religions. Okay. You have the pagan religion or the old world religion.
Right.
And then you have this new concept religion, Christianity, coming into play. And they're trying to vie
Right.
for power.
Right.
For, staying power.
Interesting. Okay. History lessons with lore.
I know, history
Okay.
lessons with lore. So most of the story revolves around keeping the Saxons out and the struggle to keep the power of the pagan religion and the increasing conversion of Christianity.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So that is the main thing. And then we have this whole mythological story that revolves around that.
I'm with you.
Okay, so we start with Igraine and Galois. Okay, they're married, and she is one of the 3 sisters of Avalon.
Okay.
Okay, Avalon is the sacred isle where the goddess lives. Okay?
Okay.
Or it translates to the Isle of Apples. Okay?
Oh my God. Okay.
Magical.
So magical.
Right. So she is one of the 3 sisters of Avalon and the old religion. So Galois, he rides for the banner of Christianity. So Morgause is the second sister, and she lives with them.
Okay.
Okay. So she's kind of a thorn in the side. She's pretty much only worried about herself and what Avalon and her power as a goddess can do just for her.
Right.
Yeah, she's pretty selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Igraine has the power of sight. She has visions, and she says, "Hey, we're getting a visit." This whole movie plays out like a freaking soap opera, like sands through the hourglass.
It really does.
So are the Mists of Avalon. So they're getting a visit from her third sister, Vivienne,
Okay.
and the wizard Merlin. And they're coming to pay a visit. And Vivienne is the Lady of the Lake. Okay? She is the ruler of Avalon and the voice of the goddess on earth.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, I just feel like strong and powerful even just with
Don't
what I
you?
do.
I know. You can't, I mean, if you're
Like, oh,
listening, you see, but I have like my goddess pendant on.
Oh,
so
you do?
I do.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, I'm let's get this. I'm a badass bitch, right? So, the Isle of Apples lies beyond the mist and is not seen by just anyone. Okay. It's special. Now, Morgane is the daughter of Igraine and Galois.
Okay.
Okay. Igraine is told from the visit from Vivienne and Merlin that a new king will be crowned. And she, Igraine, will bear the son who will then become king.
Oh,
and align himself with the goddess and Christianity on equal footing.
Oh,
Okay,
I
so
see.
he is going to be the greatest king that they've seen.
Unite.
Because he's going to unite and give equal footing to each religion.
Okay.
Okay, so there won't be any infighting, right?
Gotcha.
But guess what? Galois, not daddy.
Oh, no.
Right?
Okay.
So Igraine is a little like, what the hell? You know? And so basically they tell her that you will bear the child of the man who has a tattoo of this dragon
Oh, God.
on
Okay.
his arm. So they go to the kingdom where the old king is about to kick the bucket, right? And he's
Right.
going to name the new king. And in walks this man.
Does he have a dragon
And
tattoo?
he has a dragon tattoo.
Oh,
and they're immediately smitten with each other because their souls recognize each other from,
Oh, okay.
they're of the old religion
Right.
and they connect.
Right.
And so Galois is like, what the f-?
Hello.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jealousy ensues. And so Uther, his name is Uther, Pendragon, right?
Okay.
And he is actually the one that the old king puts into the new place of the king. So Galois pissed off, right? And he's like, I'm not following this bitch, right? I'm not following him.
Right.
And so he says, I will not give my loyalty to him. And he says he's going off to fight the Saxons. But really he's not. He's hiding in the hills and he's going to go kill Uther because he jelly. Because,
You jelly?
he likes his wife.
Because your wife likes his dragon tattoo and his luscious locks? Get over it. No.
Oh, his red hair. Do you remember?
I do.
Oh my God. I'm like, I love that. He's like, I love the bread braids.
The bread braids.
The bread braids.
I just pictured 2 loaves.
2 loaves of bread. The red braids. I get so excited when I talk about these things.
You do.
Anyway,
The bread braids.
so Igraine has the vision, right?
Right.
And she's magic because she's a bad bitch from Avalon, right?
Yeah.
And so she is able to warn Uther that Galois is coming for him.
Okay.
And guess what? He f***ing kills Galois. He's like,
Well,
dude,
I mean, he
you
came
out.
at him.
you out.
Yeah. Get lost.
You out. And so him and Igraine end up getting together.
Well, of course.
And she gets pregnant, right? And she bears a son. And his name is Arthur.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So are we see where we're going here?
I'm with you.
All right. So Morgaine and Arthur, close. They're tight.
Right.
Like super close.
Right.
BFFs, right?
BFFs.
BFFs. So when Arthur is 5 and Morgaine is 13, Vivienne and Merlin make another trip to the old castle. And they say, guess what? It's time for us to take these two and foster them in the ways of the goddess and the god. So he's going to go off to become,
With Merlin.
he's going off with Merlin to become,
King.
a warrior.
Right.
Yes. And she's going off to Avalon to become a goddess and learn the ways of the goddess, which of course is my favorite part. When they part the mists and she goes into this magical land and she's like learning how to not control, but be able to manipulate the elements, fire, earth, air, and water, right? And then she's learning all the herb lore. Like there's this huge poster and she's like matching the plants to, and I'm like, oh my God.
And Lore was hooked from
I
that
was
point
hooked
on.
from that point on. And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, I would get that moon tattoo on my forehead for sure.
Pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. So absolutely gorgeous. So we see that the training goes on for years and years, and then they become adults. So her last test was to part the mists from Avalon into the real world and vice versa.
Okay.
So she could come and go.
Right.
Whenever she damn well pleases.
Heck yeah.
Right. So just before she's ready to head on out on her journey, Lancelot comes to pay a visit. And he happens to be the son of the Lady of the Lake. And he wants her blessing to be a warrior. And she's like, what the right?
What are you doing here?
So she tells those two to go up into the circle and, I don't know, ponder life. Oh. And so there's this monastery called Glastonbury that's right beside Avalon, but they can't see it. So it's a Christian monastery. Okay. So these people are coming down and Lancelot spots this girl and he's like, oh yeah, I like her. And so he asks Morgaine to part the mist and they meet and it's Guinevere.
Dun, dun, dun.
Instantly in love. But guess what? Morgaine's like, I don't like you right away. She's like, no.
We're not
Us
vibing.
two, we're not friends.
Right.
We're not friends. Close the mist.
In the mist, back up.
And he's like, wow, you're cold-hearted.
Right.
Right. So then Vivienne tells her it's time to go to the Beltane Festival, the rites of Beltane.
Okay.
And you're going to be the virgin huntress. Okay? You're wearing a mask, and whoever slays the king stag is going to come and
Right.
bow, chicka, bow, bow, right?
Woo, woo. Okay.
But you're all wearing masks. We don't know
Can't
who's
see.
who, right?
Okay.
So that happens. She's like hoping it was Lancelot because she kind of has the hots for him, but we don't know. It's a mystery.
Masks.
Right. We skip to Arthur. Oh my gosh. He arrives home just in time to see his dad killed in battle.
Okay.
And they're stuck in this burning building, and he calls to the goddess, and Vivienne comes on in and gives him Excalibur. And he's swashes out, kicks the ass of the Saxons, and, he's about to be crowned king because his dad is dead.
Okay.
Right? So
King
there you
Arthur.
go. King Arthur.
Gotcha.
There he is. But guess what? To bring the banner of the pagan and the Christian religion, he's going to marry this Christian woman. It's Guinevere.
Oh my gosh, it is a soap opera.
Isn't it a soap opera? And then her and Lancelot lock eyes and they're like, holy I saw you before, right? So here we have a trifecta.
Love
A love triangle, right?
Yes.
Yes. And so then they're coming for the coronation of Arthur. Morgause is there. Igraine is there. Okay, so Arthur's mom, Igraine,
Right.
she's so distraught that Uther has passed away, and she's kind of feeling a lot of guilt because of her role in Galois's death, her first husband.
Yeah.
That she decides she's just going to go and become a Christian and go to the monastery and live out the rest of her days.
Well, okay.
So she pieces out.
Okay.
Right? So Arthur and Guinevere get married. Lancelot's admiring her from afar. And let's throw in another, cherry on top. Morgane is pregnant.
Oh, boy.
Hello.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And as she reunites with her brother to congratulate him on his kingdom, he tells her that, there's another woman. He's not really in love with Guinevere because he was the masked man at the rites of Beltane and slept with the virgin huntress. And Morgane is like, that's me. She doesn't tell him, but she's like, because guess what? She's pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah. So do we see a bit of a conundrum here?
Yeah.
All right. So remember Aunt Morgause,
Yes.
who's like, I'm in it for me. Well, she's now married to the king of Orkney and they have a kid. And she's like, but I want him to be king. So she tries to get Morgane to get rid of the pregnancy.
Okay.
And Vivienne is not having that because he's going to play an important role down the road.
Okay.
Right? So Morgane gives birth to Mordred.
Right.
Okay? But does not let Arthur know.
Okay.
And then she leaves Mordred with her aunt, Morgause, and comes back to Camelot.
Okay.
So it's like she never had a kid, right?
Ouch. Okay.
And so Mordred is kind of under the tutelage of the nasty old aunt.
Oh,
So
bummer.
how do we think he's going to be raised, right?
Right.
And Morgane comes back and she realizes Morgause also put a curse on Guinevere.
Okay.
So she will not be able to have children.
Oh, boy.
And of course, we know as a king, you have to have an heir, right?
Right.
Or, and of course, the woman is sometimes often blamed if she can't conceive.
Sometimes. Yeah.
If she can't conceive, right? So even though she's a Christian and she and Morgane don't really get along because there's like friction there. And because Morgane is a woman of the old ways, the pagan. But she says, do you have a charm that, do you have some herbs, some charms that might help me conceive? Just this one time, I know you're a witch, but I'm gonna listen to what you're saying and, go for it.
Okay.
So she gives her one on the night of Beltane. All right, so long story short, the charm does not work.
Yeah.
And now she really doesn't like Morgane, right? So she does some dirty deeds and basically they ship Morgane off to Wales or something. And so now her presence isn't there in Avalon.
Okay.
So the Avalon's hold is starting to loosen.
Oh, no.
And the Christians are starting to,
I see.
gain traction.
Right.
And it's so devastating that at this point Merlin passes away.
No.
And so the Lady of the Lake is kind of left holding the bag and she's lost, right? And so now jumping ahead, because, we got to wrap this up, Mordred comes of age.
Okay.
Okay. And so the Lady of the Lake is kind of desperate and she thinks this is my last hope because Morgane is kind of like dipped out. She's not there. Mordred can come and take up the cause of Avalon.
Okay.
Right. But little do we know, obviously he's been raised by Morgause, who's not too nice.
Right.
So she tells him that Arthur is his dad. And so he goes and basically wreaks havoc on Camelot and basically takes Camelot down.
Oh, no.
In, not so many words. So basically now Arthur knows that that's his son and Morgane, what the heck? Guinevere's like, what's this I'm piecing out. She goes to Glastonbury with Igraine. It's a big hot mess.
Right.
And so there's one final battle. Right? Morgane and the Lady of the Lake come to Camelot to try to figure out what the hell is going on.
Right.
Morgause comes at her. She kills Morgause. Mordred kills the Lady of the Lake. So now Avalon is pretty much done. There is nobody left but Morgane. And there's one final battle. Lancelot doesn't make it. Arthur is mortally wounded, and he ends up having to take out his son, Mordred. And he tells Morgaine, take me home to Avalon.
Okay. Excuse me while
Are
I go
you
cry.
a little tear?
Yeah.
And so when they get to Avalon, she cannot part the mists. And she says, maybe the goddess has abandoned us like we have abandoned her. So he he gives up Excalibur and says, offer. And so she throws Excalibur into the mist, and it parts ways just long enough for Arthur to see it before he dies.
Oh, what the shit?
And so then Morgaine ends up at Glastonbury with, Guinevere and her mom. And it seems like the goddess is gone. And basically she does say that, the goddess does not exist in the eyes of man anymore. And it's disappeared. And, but then when she's at Glastonbury, she sees all of these women worshiping the Virgin Mary. And she says, well, maybe the goddess just has changed form.
Oh, interesting.
And maybe someday the other generations will bring her back to her former glory. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing. And I think that's, so pivotal to me in this movie is the rebirth of the goddess.
Yeah.
And I think that it has come through so many incarnations. But I love to see the incarnation of the goddess and women taking their power.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But one of the things I wanted to tap in on was that how, this is definitely not a man bashing or patriarchal bashing or anything like that. And, at one point in the movie, she talks about how the goddess accepts the Christians, like the Avalon in the goddess, that old world religion accepts Christianity, but Christianity does not accept the goddess.
Right.
So I love this story. And, I love that it teaches women, but even in this story, even though it's coming at a different angle, we still see that women pit each other against each other. Like society teaches us to, not rise up and join in together. It's teaching us to compete against each other. It's like survival of the fittest for women, right? And I notice that even a lot in today's society, specifically today's society, instead of embracing and uplifting each other as women, not anything against men, but just bringing each other up and there's enough for everybody and we all will succeed more if we're not competing against each other.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, me and Jake have had a lot of talks about that because he didn't necessarily realize. I'm like, women are kind of taught that from a very young age that you're like, these are your competitors and to kind of tear each other down. And it's very sad.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. But I mean, I have to say, because you are taught at an early age. I mean, I am not going to sit here and say that I've never been jealous of a woman or, or qualities that she's possessed that I wish I had. I'm very introverted. And so I kind of keep to the back and I'm an observer. Virgos are observers. We watch everything.
Right.
But we're not, we don't take the main stage. And so sometimes for me, when I see women that are very vibrant and outgoing and they just go in there and they just take, and go and get what they want. And, I'm jealous of that. I'm like, why can't I be like that? But, that's not what we should be doing.
Right.
We should be learning from our fellow gals and admiring. Yeah. And I think as I've gotten older and I've learned to be comfortable in my own skin, then it is admiration instead of jealousy. It's like swapping out those emotions and saying, that's awesome. I wish I could be more like that. And let me, learn from you instead of oh, wow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So I think there is such a lesson to be learned in this movie. This mythology is fascinating. I know it seemed like so much and probably a little overwhelming.
Well, with what you're talking about, because Morgaine and Guinevere were kind of like...
Yeah, specifically those two, because they were completely like, when you're a goddess of the Holy Isle, you are free and you are uninhibited. And when you're raised in a patriarchal religion, you're taught to be submissive and follow the rules and obey. And, take the back seat to the man. And so there was instant conflict between those two.
Right.
And there was admiration, but from afar. They were like, what's your angle?
I'm curious about what's going on here, but yeah.
Exactly, right. And so they actually were detrimental to each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
Out of jealousy and,
when they could have been.
and then you see at the end that they kind of come together. Right. But that's really what it's about: lifting each other up, and
definitely
helping each other as women,
despite differences.
So that's just so empowering for us as women.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's kind of what I had to talk about.
You got real today.
I did.
I wasn't prepared.
Yeah. And I don't have any fun facts, but they hit on Beltane.
Yeah.
Several times in the movie. So I just was going to give you a few fun facts about the Beltane Festival.
Okay.
Do we have time for that?
Sure.
Because I pontificate often. All right. So Beltane is April 30th, or it's like April 30th, May 1st. So May Day to the average, right? So it honors life and represents spring, rebirth. Earth energies are at their strongest, and the stirrings of life are all around.
Beautiful.
This is the time of the most potent fertility. So that's why you can see in the movie that it always revolved around kind of sexuality. And so this is when the plants start stirring, right?
Uh-oh.
When they start popping up out of the ground. So this is the festival of the fertility rites. And we see that over and over again in the movie. The maiden has reached her fullness and manifests in growth and renewal. She's often seen as Flora.
Okay.
Right? Or the May Queen. And then we see the young Oak King, which we talked about last week.
We did.
As the Green Man coming into his cycle on the wheel. He falls in love and wins her heart. They unite, and the it's consummated, and then it's Anne.
Nice. I like that.
Right? Should I keep going?
Yeah.
And then the May Queen becomes, with child. So they represent the symbols of the sacred marriage. You see a lot of hand fasting rituals going on at this time. It's all about sexuality, sensuality, passion, and vitality.
All right. It's coming up.
I know. It's the fire festival. So Bel originates from the Celtic god Bel and means bright one, and Tane means fire. So it's the return of the sun, looking for that fruitful harvest.
Right.
So special fires were lit, as you will see in the movie. They do a lot of stuff around the fires. Of course, we know the maypole is also used. And then the traditional plants of this holiday is meadowsweet, fern, ivy, sweet woodruff, which they make a wine out of.
Oh, wow.
And your trees will be hawthorn, birch, and rowan. So those are the sacred trees. Hawthorn is definitely decorated for Beltane. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Did you love it?
I do. It's a lot of info, like always, Laura. I love it. You're teaching me stuff.
She's like, I'm going to kill you right now.
No, I'm like, hold on. Let me get on my notes. Let me get on my pen and paper. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. I do.
Oh, my gosh.
No, Beltane it's such a beautiful time.
Oh, that's probably one of my favorite festivals. Yeah.
I would agree with that. Oh, I love that. That was a good one.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of info.
It was. I hope no one takes that as like, we're not, we're bashing men or Christianity. That is absolutely not what we're doing.
No.
I just like that there's, another side to that story, and I think people will like to hear about that. And if you haven't watched it and you listen to us, I feel like,
gosh, this is such a great movie.
The acting, not that great. I remember when me and Jake first got together, and I was like, you have to watch this movie, and we watched it, and I was like, ooh.
I mean, it's totally, what'd I say, 2001?
It's cheese-tastic.
It's cheese-tastic, for sure.
But good lessons in there.
I love the costumes. I love her costume, like what Morgaine wears. And just
it's a beautiful movie. and beautiful lessons that you pointed out. Way to go, Lore. Look
Loved
at you, little
it.
teacher Lore
I
today.
know. I love it. I hope I didn't catch anybody's head on fire
No.
with all of the info.
No, I mean, I think I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to study it and then you'll quiz me. But no, I think people are really going to like that.
Yeah, it's a good movie. And I hope people out there like Arthurian legend because it's fascinating.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mama Lore.
Love it.
Yay. All right. Well, you know what time it is.
What time is it?
It's time for Killer Quotes of the Week.
I love it. I got a good one.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. All right, mine is, once you've met someone, you never really forget them. It just takes a while for your memories to return. And I picked that, and it's from Spirited Away.
I love it.
It's so cute.
I like that. I
Thanks.
love that. I can't wait to watch it.
I know you'll love it.
So my quote is, I think the goddess lives in our humanity and not anywhere else. And that is from Merlin.
Oh, I like Merlin.
I know. He's the cutest.
What a beautiful episode. I really
cutest.
like that. 2 really
Yeah.
good films for you to go and check out, guys.
Check them out.
All right.
All right.
Well, you know the drill. Go check out our Patreon.
Yes,
We'd love
do it.
to have you there. Join our fan club. Check us out on Instagram. If you want to be next week's Killer Quote of the Week, we normally put a little blurb out. And, you know, we like this week, we put out a little thing asking what topics you'd like us to touch on. So make sure you go follow us there.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll see you next week.
All right. TTFN.
All right. Cut, print, check the gate. Moving on.